Welcome, good afternoon. It's approaching 4 p.m. It's time for that time of the day, the last hosted movement snack on the day. However, movement never ceases to occur. And if you can crowbar in any extra specificness around the moves that you have in your day, then all the better. This is what we call crowbarring in. Crowbarring in a little bit of extra physical activity here, there and anywhere at any given point of your morning, daytime, evening time, tea time, whenever. There we go. That's how you can crowbar it in anytime. You're standing in a queue, you could do a few heel raises. You're waiting for the kettle to boil. Yeah, that old chestnut. But we wait for the kettle to boil and we just kind of stand there. Why not, or sit there, why not crowbar in something, a little something? A few presses maybe against the work surface, a few of those leaning on the lamppost moves that we did the other day. If you are sitting down, maybe a little bit of ankle mobility as you sit there in your seat. You may be getting up to walk shortly. So loosening the ankles could be something to crowbar in as well. Amongst other things, I could still be here next week, still going on about this topic. Linking moves that you could add into your daily life. I'll leave you to figure out the rest of it. Right, we've got our lives coming on, and if you are on catch up, fast forward this bit if you like. If you want to get straight to the circ boost and the sway part and the stretch part, off you go now. Otherwise, we've got about 3 more minutes and you'll just hear me welcome in Chris and Carol and anybody else that's waiting in the wings ready to come on. I'm in a Premier Inn, might you guess. Great view out here. I mean, top-notch view. Hang on. One of the best views there. Yes, it is a brick wall. So yeah, we only sleep in these rooms. We don't come here for the views. Right, Ken's in as well, here for your daily 4 p.m. dosage. Open wide, everyone. The dose is coming. Right, well, what have you been up to then? Let's read some of your messages. Right, Carol Kent's just ready to continue the sway this evening. There's a little bit of an ankle movement, heel lift coming up for you. And a couple of other options, of course. Right, Chris, you've had a little sit down and some reading and a bit of gardening. Sounds nice. Yes, Carol, you must book into this Premier Inn. It's got one of the best views in town. I'm here in Altrincham, everybody, if you're wondering which Premier Inn I'm in. Altrincham, Manchester Road, that's what it's called. Yeah, it's all right. You know what you're getting with a Premier Inn, a bit of purple, a big double bed that you don't need the half of it, and a few free teas and coffees that you can, well, a few coffees that you can kind of just put in your bag. And then if you have a coffee emergency at home and you run out, you'll be all right. There might be some emergency Marmites to borrow from the breakfast as well. Take 1 or 2 of those home. Normally take the kids a Nutella as well. Mum, what have you got? Got your Nutella. Brilliant. Then just scoop it out. They're quite happy with that. Right, afternoon Vivian and Paul. I'm just going to put the fan on. It is exceedingly warm today. You might hear a little bit of blowiness in the background. Hopefully it's not as bad as Bex's midday movement snack. The blowiness where she was almost took the camera off its perch, didn't it? I will switch it off in a minute when I properly get going. All you need then, everyone, is you, a space, a bit of external support, a seated option whatever you like, a chair, a bench, a wall outside, whatever you want to perch onto. And that'll do nicely really. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon and welcome. You're with me, Kelsey Leverton from Later Life Training. This is the 4 p.m. sway and stretch, starting with circulation boosting and a bit of thought and application around our posture. Are we ready? Today, Wednesday 24th of May 2023. Just a little bit of a cool down there. Right, let's get going. If you're outside in the heat of the sun, you might not need much of a circulation booster, but we'll do one anyway, just to get all those joints and muscles working. So up you stand, external support around hip height is best, and then pedal through your legs. Something sturdy, but saying that, we don't want to put too much body weight through the hands, the arms and upper body. Try and lift that, set it back, i.e. your shoulders, open the chest, and then start picking up the feet when you're ready. Now here from seated, it's got a little bit of a dodgy backed chair here, so I need to especially get away from it. Hip walk forwards, brings you into a better kind of working space for seated. Pedaling away, picking up the knees to march when you're ready. Take a steady pace, something that starts you moving, but it doesn't actually boost up the intensity or nowhere near a high effort level here. Swing an arm in with a bent elbow and an emphasis on pressing the elbows backwards. You might have one arm in at a time whilst you use your external support, or you might feel happy to bring in that second arm. 2 to 3 minutes, that's all we need here on Circ Boost, although you do probably get 3 minutes and a few more seconds often. Now, as you drive your elbow back, you might feel just a little bit of a pull on the front of your shoulder as your shoulder starts to loosen up a little bit. We're getting the best range of movement from the arm swing via the shoulders. And picking up the knees, opposite arm to leg, rhythmical, not too fast and choppy, because that will bring everything a little bit too short. We want to be able to swing the arms, we want to be able to pick up the knees, tread down the feet, all without a rush to it. Just keep on going. If you want to take the arms out, just keep the legs going. If you want to revert down to your foot pedals, if you want to pause the legs and even just keep the arms in, just for this last few seconds, take your pick. And then bring it down to a stop. Take a bit of a deep breath. Just enjoy a few deeper, longer breaths here. You can add these deeper, longer breaths to your sway routine as well if you like. Let's just do a couple of heel raises to prep up the ankles for what's coming up in this add-on for the sway. External support, lift up the heels, lower down the heels. Now with external support, you've got a little bit of extraness there for your balance. If you're working the arms through as well, you might not have that external support available. It's up to you. Take your feet a little bit wider. Just try 1 or 2 heel raises in a slightly wider position. You might not get your heels up quite as high, and we're going to do this bit when it comes to the bump in the road. Let's start the sway. Shifting, transferring, smooth, unrushed pace. In seated, we can do the same. Have a slightly wider position of your feet. Shifting from one cheek to cheek here. All right, let's start bringing in the arms. So if you want to take your arms straight into the biggest movement, feel free to do so, or do a few at a smaller, more tucked in range and position to start off with. So here we are with a shift, a sweep round. Let's just do the lift and back. Now bring yourself to center here, and then we'll go back the way we came. Lift over the bump in the road, and then finish off that sway, and then come back to the center as you prepare your arms for that next time through. Now you might be moving through the trunk a little bit, you might be moving your head and gaze. If at any point this shifting and turning from side to side irritates your vestibular system, you start to feel a little bit dizzy or unsteady, just keep your eyes focused forwards, or make the movements a little bit slower. Right, here's where the heel raise can come in if you would like it. Get ready for maybe a touchdown on external support, see how you feel. So we lean and sway, sweep across, over the bump, up through the heels, and round to the other side. Here's your small pause in the middle before we go back the other way. There's the bump in the road, there's the heel lift, joining in there, and back together. Push those arms across your body. Don't forget the bump in the road, I almost did them. And if your arms are starting to travel a little bit further back, so you're sweeping round a bit more, then that's great. Do what you feel is good for you and this sway. Small pause before reversing. Keep going there. Now, if you want to keep the heel in and you feel a little bit unbalanced whilst bringing the arms in as well, as you're in standing, you could not do the heel raise as you take the bump in the road. Or you could come to external support, take the heels through the bump in the road and not the arms. It's up to you. One more on each side. And then back through for the final, whoop, little bit of a challenge on the balance there. Okay, now if you've been using bigger arms, straighter elbows, you might find that your shoulders are feeling that little bit more than if you've kept your arms more tucked in. So just take a couple of loosening off, crowbarred in, shoulder rolls, and set your posture right there. Now, calf stretch. Whilst I'm in standing, I normally just sit down for the rest of it, but if you want to take up a calf stretch stood up, bring your feet into a split stance where both feet are flat, especially that back heel, front knee bent. Make an adjustment if you feel you can, if you want a bit more stretch and lengthening, but make sure that heel is planted there on the back foot. If you can't feel it, you might need to adjust your toes so that they're pointing more forwards rather than drifting out to the side. Seated, do you know what, I'm going to take my socks off. You can probably see my lily white feet a bit better against the dark floor. Seated, leg out long, toes pulled back. Stretching out the calves gives that little bit of length, little bit of extra comfort. When we lean forwards, we could be pulling our toes towards us. So tightnesses in the calves combined with tightnesses in the hamstrings can make it quite difficult, uncomfortable to be getting down to feet level, floor level. Great to do if you've been on your feet for a while as well, just to loosen off those muscles. Those muscles will be doing quite a lot of work through any standing, walking actions. Pull up the toes, change sides, stride back with t'other leg there, and just square your hips off to the front best you can, so that you're not kind of opening out to the side of the room. There we have your calf stretch. Done quite nicely also with toes up against something. It might be a skirting board, it might be a wall, a curb outside, toes up against it and a small bend of the knee towards the wall or whatever it is. Right, if you are just sitting down, maybe just readjust your sitting position to more the front third. Let's stay with the legs, straighten out the leg and loosen off the ankle. Here we go with a posture lift up, really sitting tall, trying to almost levitate your bum off the chair. It's never going to happen, but imagine, and lean forwards. So we're really lifting up and out of the hips to change the pelvic tilt, to get onto the bum bones and have the tailbone away from the seat. Ankle is relaxed so that we can target more the back of knee and up. Not feeling it in the calf at this point, everybody. Lean a bit further forwards if you want to check out your reachability. Hand on the thigh, on the knee, track it down, lean a little bit further forward, see how far maybe you can get. Can you get to your foot, your shoelaces, your toes, beyond? Can you touch the floor? And take a pause before you recover. Steadily coming up, having a breather, having a pause. Let's go to the other side. So a loose ankle, a real lifted, levitating posture here, leaning in and feeling that pulling sensation right at the back of the knee, up towards your hip. Some of you might find this stretches along your bum and into your low back a little bit. Support your top half. And if you want to check out your reachability, see how far you can comfortably, confidently, safely, pain-freely reach. Can you get fingertips to the floor and track back up? Right, for the chest then, let's sit tall, take a breather, track the hands back. You might want to put them into your back pockets if you've got any, in your trousers or shorts. You might want to just sit the heel of your hand just slightly below your lower back, or hold on to the spindles at the back of the chair. I'm going to stick with this one today. The back of the chair's a bit dodgy. Lifting up, opening out, lengthening everything through your posture, all the way through your neck, and relax down. Okay, let's have a look at our shoulders then next. Shoulders, triceps, so back of your arms and reaching upwards if your shoulders are comfortable and they allow you to do so. So hand to the shoulder, lift it up. Lifting, easing, guiding, supporting. Checking out how far you can reach around the back of your head, neck, ears, shirt, mid-back. Bit of a reach, that one. Some of you may or may not be able to get that far across. Lift up into a bit of a sideways tilt, opening out the rib cage to the side. One arm coming up and up and up and up again. Or if you need some support for that stretchy, full stretching arm, take it through a double arm reach. And you'll get another one as we do the other side, if that's the one that you've chosen. Change sides. Okay, up we go, over we reach. See, check out your reachability over the top of your head. Breathe into the stretch. Mildly uncomfortable, not going into kind of any kind of pain. Little bit of a tilt to open out the rib cage there. And the single arm full reach, up we go, or the double arm full reach, whatever you like. Guide it back down. And there we have your sway. You are swayed and sufficiently stretched, hopefully. And I feel a little bit hungry now. Little bit of a walk, I think. Stretch the old legs from sitting and driving, and find some food. All right, everyone, that's my plan. You've probably got something along the same lines as, so enjoy your evening, whatever you're up to, and we'll see you for a full round of trios for each and every movement snack that we've got on the schedule. Thanks, everyone. Have a lovely evening.